Hey, how's it going? Yesterday, when I did my daily check-in, it was just before I went into my PSA meeting, and then obviously I had the meeting, and here I am checking in again. So I figured I'd go through some of the things that I picked up from the meeting. I do always get something really positive from it, and there were several things yesterday. So I'll go through a kind of couple of them. One of them was a guy who was one of the sort of the keynote type speakers, and he actually won the PSA version of the Toastmasters International Speech Contest last year. It's called Speaker Factor. And he was giving an hour's talk, and included in that was his approach to Speaker Factor, which is a 5-minute talk, much like the Toastmasters contest requirements. And many of the same ingredients that I've pulled out of the recent winners of the international speech contest at Toastmasters were in the same talk that he gave, and what he had also discovered. He basically had a very similar approach to me in terms of looking at what winners had done in the past, and also looking at what the judging criteria were. So it was really interesting listening to him talk and give a speech that was good. I didn't think it was that. The energy in it was very didn't really appeal to me, so it didn't really resonate with me. The talk itself didn't really connect with me, I guess. But when he took it apart and he broke it down, you could see that the approach he'd taken to it, and how he'd refined it over delivering it about 10 times, and taken feedback from people. So it actually created something specifically with the purpose of winning the Speaker Factor. And he actually said 18 months prior to the contest, he decided that he was going to win it. So it was a real sort of confidence he had in himself and the approach that he was going to take. So kind of very admirable on that front. But like I said, it was interesting. Really, the main thing I took away from it was this approach of was very similar to how I am taking this. And I've actually, I said in my update yesterday that I'd spent some time in the car driving over there, coming up with this speech outline based on all these things that I've been thinking of recently. And I spent a little bit of time today working it up a bit more and getting a bit more order and structure to it. There's a couple of bits that I still need to work on in terms of getting it really clear in my mind exactly what the message is, because that's the absolute. It has to have that. It has to be very, very clear what the message is. And that's not just an ingredient in Toastmasters and PSA speeches. That's just a fairly important thing. You need to have that message. And I haven't quite managed to connect. I've got the message, but I haven't quite managed to connect the story 100% to it. It's about 80% of the way there. So there's still a little bit of work to do on that. But there was something else that happened yesterday at the PSA meeting. The other speakers were very good, very useful, very informative, and picked up a few things from them. But one of the people who was there, a lady I sat next to, I'd never met her before, and she introduced herself, and I said hello, and as you do. And she asked me what I spoke about. Bearing in mind we're all speakers, and she said, what's my subject? What do I speak about? And I said high performance well-being, because I have to say something, right? I have to have some sort of a very brief summary of what I do and what I speak about. And her immediate reaction was, "Oh, is that with sports people?" And so I said, no, it's not with sports people. And I went on to explain a little bit more about what high performance well-being really was. And she said later on that kind of it was the perception. She said, as I look at you, and she did the whole "as I look at you" thing, and you tell me that you speak about high performance and well-being, it makes me think of, well, you must be an elite sports coach. You must work with athletes. And she said it's about perception and how perception of people is really, really important. And it did get me thinking, I'm not going to change this, obviously. As someone did point out when I was telling this, you could just like start eating at McDonald's all the time and put on a load of weight and look slightly less athletic. But if I'm not going to do that, then do I need to change high performance well-being? And the answer is no, I don't. I thought maybe at the time yesterday I was thinking to myself, oh well, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I'm misleading people by talking about high performance well-being, and it's not really clear what it is, which is confusing people. But actually, I don't think that that's part of the problem. I really don't think that is something that needs to be addressed. Perhaps I need to speak about it a little more. In fact, I did a post on LinkedIn today to tell that story basically, and also say that I need to be more clear about who I am and what I speak about, and to do that more regularly, because perhaps I don't, and that's on me. I need to be more need more repetition with reminding people who would telling people what I speak about. But it was certainly an interesting insight that I don't think of sports people and elite athletes at all, because I've never worked with that group. But in the minds of some other people, it might still be a link that they make. So a useful reminder to be more proactive and write and talk about what I do and what I speak about. Anyway, that's my check-in for the day. I'll be back again with another update tomorrow. As always, like the video, give it a YouTube thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and check back again tomorrow for another daily update. Bye for now.